Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and today we have a new poll regarding the 2026 California governor's race from Emerson College. Emerson College is a pretty respected pollster. It is a B-rated pollster, and we have a new governor's primary poll because California does use an open primary system that is used all over the West Coast. It is where all candidates from all parties are put into one big primary, and the top two candidates, no matter if it's one Democrat, one Republican, two Republicans, two Democrats, two independents, no matter who it is, the top two candidates move on to the general. So, they put multiple candidates on here. Steve Hilton, as you can see, if we go to the candidates list, Steve Hilton he is a Republican, and he was a former advisor to UK Prime Minister David Cameron, never held office in the United States before. Then you have former Representative Katie Porter, and also she ran for 2024 California Senate, and she lost the primary. You can see here in the primary, she was actually doing fine, but in the end she collapsed, and Steve Garvey took second place, a Republican. So you see here in the results, the primary was very close. Somehow, only 3,000 votes separated a Democrat and Republican in the primary in California, but Katie Porter ended up not even getting half of second or first place. So, Katie Porter, she's going to try and make a comeback. Recently, however, she did have sort of a meltdown in an interview, so that was not a good look for her. But Katie Porter, she's probably the top Democratic candidate so far in this race, because Kamala Harris, she was looking at a potential bid, but in the end she decided to not run. But you have other candidates, some included in this poll. They only included two other Democrats in this poll: Antonio Villaraigosa, the former mayor of the largest city in California, Los Angeles, and Xavier Becerra, the Secretary of Education under Joe Biden's administration. So it's interesting to note that they included other Democratic candidates here. If you look at this image, Tony Thurmond, 3%, Betty 2%, Ian Calderon, 1%, Stephen Klubeck, 1%. All they include how many Democratic candidates? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Democratic candidates and only 2 Republican candidates. I mean, they included all the Democrats on the list except for I think these random people who don't even have Wikipedia pages. They didn't include. Did they include Tony Thurmond? Oh yeah, they did. Okay, so that's interesting. Republicans, really, Steve Hilton and Chad Bianco are the only big kind of candidates. Bianco, he is the where is he? Chad Bianco. Yeah, he is the sheriff of Riverside County. Riverside County is a very, very big, very populous county in the state of California. It holds 2.4 million people. And in the 2024, wait, no, if you look at this voter registration, it's sort of a swing county. 40% Democrats, 31.3% Republicans, 20% Independents. So, although Democrats do sometimes hold a voter registration advantage, most of the times Independents do shift a bit more to Republicans, and people who belong to other parties usually don't vote for their party, and most of the times their party aren't on the ballot, and they usually also lean towards more Republican candidates. And in 2024, the county flipped Republican. Donald Trump only beat Kamala Harris here by around 1.26%, and before then, Biden won by 7%, Hillary won by 5%, even Obama won by 2%, and around 2% both times. So Riverside County, if Bianco actually expands, no, it's possible, because if you look here, Bianco actually was not that close to coming in second place. So in this poll, because a Democrat does make it into the top two, Katie Porter, you could probably expect Porter to easily beat Steve Hilton in the general election, because even if you look back in 2022, in a Dem versus Republican scenario, Gavin Newsom won by 18% against Republican. The Republican candidate, 2018, kind of the same thing. He won by 23 points. So, I mean, this new poll, you still do have 39% undecideds. and most of them are probably going to lean towards other Democratic candidates. But this is it is somewhat possible that Chad Bianco and Steve Hilton, they managed to get into the top two, especially with Bianco's popularity in Riverside County, which is I think California counties, uh list of counties in California. Actually, no, it probably won't tell us population. Yeah, because Riverside County is literally one of the biggest counties in the state of California. It is over 2 million people. I think the only one that beats it is Los Angeles County with almost 10 million. Scroll down. Actually, no. Yeah, okay. Well, Orange County is 3 million. So it's the third largest. No, okay. It's the fourth largest county in the state of California, behind San Diego and Orange County. They're actually not that Democrat either. Orange County a bit more Republican than San Diego, but so because usually Republicans in the state of California come from like central and northern California in more rural areas. But if Bianco makes it, no, if Bianco actually picks up his campaign, because he's from Riverside, he actually does good among Southern Californians. So that's what I think is going to be really interesting to see, because you have all these other candidates that are Republicans. They're probably going to get like, you have this random guy who ran back in 2021 and 2022 in the primary. How much did he get? Yeah, 1.3%. Like, you have these random Republican candidates. You had a couple, but they, besides the top Republican, they all got like 3%, 3%, 2%. So you can expect like no other Republican candidate besides Hilton or Bianco to like surpass 3%. And Democrats, I think Rick Caruso, he would be a fine moderate choice if they don't want somebody like Katie Porter. Rick Caruso, he ran for mayor in 2022. He only lost by 9% to Karen Bass. Karen Bass was kind of garbage. I still think Caruso should have been mayor, but Rick Caruso, I think he would take a lot of votes from Katie Porter probably, because Katie Porter isn't that progressive. If she ran a bit more progressive a campaign, I think she would have been able to take a lot of votes from Adam Schiff, because Adam Schiff, he was more of an establishment name, and take more votes from Barbara Lee, because Barbara Lee was a progressive, and Katie Porter, she was just never able to really stand herself out there back in 2024. So we'll see if she is able to sort of run a better campaign than 2024 and 2026 for her governor. But this is definitely a very interesting poll, because talking about open primaries, once again, we had a very, very interesting circumstance in 2024. You look at the general election, you see the Democrat beat the Republican by 5%. Okay, that's interesting. Washington only went to Kamala Harris by 18. No, only went to this guy by 5%, but went to Kamala Harris by 18%. What happened here? The general election, Butler was sort of just a good candidate, but in the primary, you see here, it was just a couple 50 votes, 49 votes that could have had a Republican winning the general election, because the Republican who came in the third place, Sue Peterson, she only got 49 votes behind Upgrove. If she was able to make that up, you would have had two Republicans advance to the general election. That would mean Washington would have a public, what is this, lands commissioner. And Democrats, you see here all the other Democrats, Patrick Poe, Alan Lebovitz, like these candidates, they took too much of the vote, because once again, if you add the Democratic vote and the Republican vote together, you see the Republicans only get around 42%, while the Democrats get around 58%. So, I mean, in the primary, like in a regular primary, you would not have even the slightest chance of a Republican winning the primary, but in open primaries, it is possible. So, this is definitely an interesting poll, and somehow Yeah, because that's why people are saying California could have a Republican governor. Even though California is going to stay extremely Democrat, in a narrow circumstance, it is possible that you have two Republicans, in this case Chad Bianco and Steve Hilton, going to the general election. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and like for more content like this. I'm going to be posting daily and up until Election Day, November 4th, 2025. Subscribe for more updates and news on this topics that you enjoy. So, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.